Hey, welcome everybody to our celebration of service. And I'm Ron Barnes, and I'm thrilled and honored to serve as your president for the next few minutes and the start of a new Rotary year. If you all stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, because we have the 4th of July coming up. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The thought for the day: find a group of people who challenge and inspire you and spend a lot of time with them, and it will change your life. Amy Poehler. Sounds like a Rotary meeting, doesn't it? Yeah. Our reflection is Glenda Murray.
Thank you. I wanted to talk today. We're here to install Traci Jovanovic as our new president. Traci will be our 107th president and our 12th female president. The last week, and you'll hear more about this later, but last week, the past presidents met at Sarah's house after the storm. And so here's the picture of them giving advice after we gave her advice. But I thought we should celebrate and think about our history a little bit. Traci's also the first daughter of a Bloomington Rotarian to become president of the club. Her father, Winston Schindel, was president in 1988-89, and I hear he's left the country. He'll come back. I kept hunting for him, and then I learned that. This calls for a celebration, and so I want to talk about family connections in Rotary. We had two brothers who served as president in the 1920s. Remember, Rotary was a male-only organization for the first many years. This was John and Oscar Cravens in the 1920s. And then we've had three father-son teams who served as president. The first was Dr. George Holland, a surgeon, who was president in 25-26, and his son, Dr. Philip Holland, whom some of you may remember, who returned to be a physician also, and they worked together for 5 years before George died. He also got his son involved in Rotary, and Philip was president in 54-55. Next was Robert Ellis, son of the founder of Ellis Floral, which some of us remember. And he served as in 47-48. His son Jay, whom many of us do remember, owned Ellis Floral and Ellis Tents, and he was president in 76-77. Irvin Thrasher was president in 1960-61. He and his brother operated Thrasher Hardware Company from the time their father died in the 30s until the store closed in 1967. And then Irv joined the purchasing department at IU and served as a basketball official for over 23 years. His son, Tim Ellis, who is a member of our club now, was treasurer of our club for many years and then served as president in 2006-07. Tim was controller at Monroe County School Corp for over 45 years. Today, we celebrate Traci and her father. So let's say hello to her and thanks to all those other folks in the past.
Glenda's also our archivist, and she really has a grasp on the history of our club. So thank you for all your work you do, Glenda, in that area. Now to introduce our guest, Dr. Dakir Abdullah.
Hello, can everybody hear me? Or do I need to speak louder or lean in? Lean in? All right. So when okay, so when guests are called, please stand because we'd like to recognize you. First we have Ann Bright, guest of Jim Bright, and they're retired. Next we have Cheryl Barnes, guest of Ron Barnes. Or is that how you say it, Barnes? All right. Our next guest is Caroline or Carolyn Clay. Is that Caroline or Carolyn? Caroline? Okay, Caroline Clay, guest of Andrea Murray, or is it Andrea? They're semi-retired. Last, we have Lucy Deckard, guest of Trent Deckard and Kyla Deckard, a fourth grader. Welcome, everybody. I bet you like talking about online.
Kyla, do we have any online guests?
We are all Rotarians here for this special Rotary Day, Ron.
All right, thank you. We do have some birthdays to celebrate. On the 7th of this month, Byron Bankert. And our Independence Gal will be Joyce Poling on Independence Day. So happy birthday to all of you. And then John Diltz, we're celebrating 21 years in Rotary with you. So John, congratulations. Traci would like all of the committee chairs to migrate their files in the box from the 2023 to 2024 to the 24-25 box. So please do that at your earliest convenience. Any questions, call Alon, our technical assistant. And also a big thank you for Sarah Laughlin, who's hosted through a storm and power outage, a wonderful past president's dinner. And we were able to give Traci a lot of advice. She said she'll take about half of it and she will move forward with on her own. But thank you, Sarah. That was a wonderful evening. And you handled it with grace. She had power outage until about probably 15, 20 minutes before the dinner. So she handled that with grace. She has some announcements to make. So Sarah, please come forward.
Not about the dinner, but I'm sure glad to see the 4 people who didn't make it to the dinner that you're still alive, not smashed under a tree or otherwise incapacitated. We did have fun. We have 2 important and very impactful community service events coming up this month. And I wanted to especially encourage our new members and those of you who haven't had a chance to experience the magic elixir of these Rotary events to sign up. The first one is the Teachers Warehouse Supply Drive. Working in pairs and 2-hour shifts, we stand outside the doors of several Kroger grocery stores and Office Depot and Staples and ask customers to purchase a small school supply or 2 for Teachers Warehouse. An amazing number of people do it. Come out with a bag of crayons or pencils or rulers or notebooks. And it's very satisfying to see so much support. Last year, this one-day effort raised $20,000 in school supplies, enough to supply Teachers Warehouse through the busy back-to-school fall season. So can you help? Can you help? We need about 10 more volunteers. And we need you to sign up today. It's July 13th. That's not this Saturday, it's the following Saturday. And we have 10 slots or so still open. And Ann Bright in the back, stand up, Ann, so everybody can see who you are, has the Sign Up Genius sheet with her. So if you want to sign up today, take a look at your calendar. You can do it right here, right now. She'll put you in. Oh, all right then, maybe fewer than 10, but still check in with Ann if you're interested in that one. The second one is the Hoosier Hills Food Bank, Friday, July 26th. So this one's Friday, a couple weeks later. And many of you have volunteered at the food bank. We've traditionally done it in February, which is a really time when they really need a lot of help. But July is the other time when they're very short. Lots of people are hungry and lots of their regular volunteers are on vacation and things are tight at the food bank. So they really need our help. And we have a partner. We'll be working with the Duke Energy volunteers because Liz Irwin is a member of our club and is the community engagement person at Duke Energy. So she asked if we could help and we're happy to do that. So we have 2 shifts for that one. The first one is 9 to 11:30. The second one is 12:30 to 3. So you could choose one or the other. But in between 11:30 to 12:30 is lunch for everybody. So it'll be, again, a great networking. We always have so much fun. There's always abundant laughter at the food bank as we figure out the best process. For example, for getting Cheerios from these giant Gaylord boxes into a plastic bag. We get a lot better by the time we get done, we're really good at it, but we're not so good at the beginning. We don't know exactly what we'll be doing this time. In the past, we have packed boxes for elderly homebound families, scooped Cheerios out of huge boxes, and stapled postcards to bags for postal workers drive. It's probably something along the food packing thing. We still need 7 volunteers in the morning and 6 in the afternoon. And so can you help? I have the sign up sheet for this one, and I'm happy to answer any questions and sign you up today, or you can watch for the Sign Up Genius in the next roundabout. And again, if you haven't done it before, please join us. It's a great way to get to know other Rotarians, and you'll go home feeling so good. And these are 2 of our very favorite ones, all happening in the same month. So I guarantee lots of laughing and immediate sense of accomplishment as you see the school supplies and the cereal piling up. And thanks for helping.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you for all you do in your, again, Community Service Committee. On the agenda, this is noted as Ron's time. So let me take a couple seconds. I remember fondly, and I'm not sure if I was sitting on our lanai in Florida at a condo that we rent when I got a call from Aaron Davis asking me to be president-elect. And I had such high respect for Aaron, I couldn't say no. And so it's been an interesting task. When I hung up, I said, what in the hell did I do? But again, it's been a great experience, and this has been a great club to be president of. First of all, we were named the Large Rotary Club of the Year for the district. This was done as a result of all of your work, not my work. You think about what we did. With Traci's help, we now have 172 members. We have a partnership with the Chamber of Commerce. We hosted an Afghan family. We've engaged in Empath, which is a significant service to a community in Africa. We work closely with the other Rotary clubs, including the Bloomington Toast. It Takes a Village, an IRT, which is coming next year, that will provide medical and dental and psychological services to anyone in the community that needs it. Talk about expanding our footprint in Rotary. That's going to be a significant effort. I have committee chairs to thank. They've delivered in many ways. But I have 3 people that I'd like to give a President's Award, and I'd like to have them come up at this time. Traci, come on up. Michael Shermas. And Jim Bright. First of all, to Michael, who absolutely, with his committee, put together stellar programs for the year. Anybody who thinks our programs are weak ought to join another Rotary Club. Secondly, he led our strategic plan. And again, as I said, when we started the effort with our planning, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. But we have a plan, and that plan will give us guidance for many years. And it makes a wonderful effort. And then Traci, my gosh, how many people are new members as a result of Traci and her committee? You know, there's a lot of people in this room. And I think I saw in an email that Jim sent out that we have 60 members as a result of the work of the committee. We now have 172 members. And again, Jim, being Mr. Rotary, give you an example. I stopped by a local coffee place, and he was there on his way to the Columbus Rotary meeting. He's all over for Rotary, and he represents our club well, but he was a great assistant to me. We all see his P-mails that come out, remind us of our Rotary meeting, who's going to be there, and all the behind the scenes that they do. So I just want to say thank you to all of you. And this one's Traci's. They're decorated well, you know. They're luckily they came in Saturday. They've been ordered a month ago. So, thank you very much for your efforts. Thank you, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you. I want one other person to come forward. I know she's busy back there working, but Natalie, will you come forward for a second? This club could not operate without you. Come on forward, Natalie. Whenever I needed something dealing with Rotary, Natalie was there. She always delivered. Thank you so much. Now, Madam President, please come forward.
Thank you, sir. And while we're doing that, we do our switch of the flags. We don't want to forget this. The new theme for this year, everybody should have gotten a pen, is the magic of Rotary. And I think I'm supposed to use that as my theme for my presentation. I didn't. I know that's shocking. It just didn't feel like what I wanted to achieve. It felt too Disney for me, to be honest. So, but I will say,
There we go.
I will say that Rotary, there is so much magic to Rotary. And so I think the theme is appropriate for the club overall. But we'll get into in a little bit what I'd like to see for our club specifically. But before we do that, Mr. Past President, could you just remain standing? Because I think we have a few things for you.
Thank you, President Traci, and past President Ron. Congratulations. I just want to say, as previous past president, this has been an extraordinary year for me to watch this amazing man build the club in the way that he has, with sort of with an equanimity that I don't believe that I could ever have had all the way through. It's really been quite remarkable. But rather than me tell you about things, what I did is I cast out for a few ideas from individuals in this club, and here are just a few thoughts from people. Michael Sherman says, and I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to quote all of you as I go along here. Ron Barnes, as president, talk about being rock steady, great sense of humor, a sage with practical advice. He's the epitome of a leader who represents these traits. So that's from Michael Sherman. Joey Harder, I'm grateful for Ron's steadfast leadership of our club this past year. His unwavering commitment to our club was evidenced in many ways, including being the primary force behind the updating of our strategic plan, which he just mentioned, which will certainly serve as a roadmap for years to come. Ron has kept our club looking ever forward, always with a keen and open eye as to how we can become an even better club in serving our community and supporting each other. You rock. Mr. about to be past president. And yes, you will have your actual Rotary Rocks presidential memento in hand very soon from Joey Harder. Jim Bright, I'm going to quote Jim, who's right here in front of us. An outstanding leader is Ron Barnes, who is passionate about public education, including Teachers Warehouse and our scholarship program, well organized. He always brings a well thought out game plan to each and every meeting. He starts our meetings on time and he ends them on time. Empowering, as evidenced today, he encourages his fellow Rotarians to take on tasks and he doesn't micromanage. Good about being recognizing team members, he wraps up each and every meeting with a thank you for the troops. He believes in the old saying, if you see a turtle on top of a fence post, you know it didn't get there by itself. Ron Barnes lives Rotary's values of service above self. Ron Barnes was also a doctor. Judy Schroeder. I've appreciated Ron's cheerful goodwill throughout his term. I also appreciate Dr. Barnes's medical counsel. When he heard I was going to have knee replacement surgery, he instructed me, do your exercises. Every time I saw him before surgery, he said, be sure to do your exercises. Well, when the Bloomington Rotary Club, now past presidents, gives you a job, you do it. I did my exercises. And when I returned to Rotary, Dr. Barnes kept on the pressure saying, are you doing your exercises? Thank you, Ron Barnes, for your leadership, and thank you, Dr. Barnes, for your sound medical advice. Natalie Blaze, and this will be the final one before something else that I will show you. Ron was a quick and easy president for me. I wonder how many people she can say that about. He did not ask much, I wonder also. He did his job well, never pushed 23, 24, and it was super fun. I would like to share this simple quote as my 7th president, since he was quick with one-liners. A great leader is like a great haircut. When they do their job right, everyone looks better. Ron was my 7th great haircut. So Ron, thank you for everything that you've done. You've been a magnificent leader of our club for the past year, and I have something as a memento to show you here.
In Bloomington's heart, a leader stands tall. Ron Barnes, the president, guiding us all. With vision and grace, he lights up the way, serving the Rotary day after day. Through kindness and action, he led with a smile, fostering goodwill mile by mile. 2023 to 4, what a better year. With Ron at the helm, there's been nothing to fear. Our community's stronger, hands reaching wide. Together we flourish side by side. Here's to Ron Barnes in his noble quest. Bloomington Rotary, striving for the best.
So, Mr. Past President, here is the traditional somewhat gift for past president, but wait, there's more. Because why be traditional? Cheryl, this is also somewhat for you. This is and the bag got a little ripped, okay, a lot. Let me hold that so you can open it. This is something it's the Sagrada Familia collection. And I think it's something that you all will enjoy. And I thought Sagrada Familia was appropriate because you'll get to spend time with your family, but always know that Rotary is a part of your family as well. And of course, you have to have a good bottle of wine to go with it.
We'll put it to good use. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for everything that you have done. And I know you're only a walk away.
Yes, here to help.
There's that.
Thank you.
No worries. Tyler? All right, so while Tyler cues up the deck, because of course I'm going to use a PowerPoint. I never stop to plug. I never stop plugging Microsoft. I'm shameless that way. And it's somewhat of a crutch, I will admit. But I've been a member for 1.5 presidents, and Alon Barker and Ron Barnes, and both brought very different attributes to the club. Alon, creativity, high energy, really getting the technology and helping bring us into the future. And then Ron, as we've discussed, you've really brought structure and thoughtfulness, giving us the strategy upon which we can, the foundation upon which we can build. So what would I like for my legacy to be? Oh, wait, one more thing before I start. For those of you who don't know, Dad's in Norway. He just sent me a text prior to this meeting and said his thoughts were with me. He was thinking me, he knows I'm going to hit it out of the park, which is funny because I played softball, and to be honest, I was quite good. But Dad would always say, you can't even run past pitcher's mound. So I'm glad to see he's changed his vision of that and thinks I can hit it out of the park now. So I thought I'd share that. They're in Norway, so they decided to not cancel the trip for this. But anyway, so what would I like for the legacy to be? And really, it's about simplification, inclusivity, and a common sense of accomplishment for us as a club. First, simplification through identification of past practices that may no longer apply, such as, should we still be doing the speech contest? For the 2 years that I've been here, that has been a bit of a pain point, and other districts do it well. So is that something we're going to do? And we decided as a board, no, we won't be doing that going forward, so we can focus and apply ourselves on something that we enjoy. Secondly, it's important that, well, as part of that simplification, it's important that we are doing the right things for the right reasons. Challenge our club to focus on what matters, and as I said, to do what we enjoy. Secondly, I'd like to foster more inclusivity in the sense of belonging. We have 60 new members. That's a lot to take on. And are we doing everything we can to bring them into the fold? And that's a two-way street. As new members, of which I count myself as one, we have to take the initiative and reach out and sign up for the Hoosier Hills Food Bank and be a part of the different activities. As tenured members, notice I didn't say old members, as tenured members, we have to reach out and embrace the new members as they come in. It's all of our responsibility to own that. Third, a common sense of accomplishment for our community. And to do that, I want us all to really get back to the basics and focus on service above self, because that is what this club is about. So you'll hear me talk a lot about that. So what does it mean? I'd like to see 100% participation in club activities and committee involvement. That does not mean you have to do everything all the time. None of us can do that by any stretch. But we should all do something. We should all be involved in at least one committee. We should put ourselves out there to do at least a couple of activities and make sure we're taking advantage of lunch buddies. I see the lunch buddy list. I actually love the lunch buddy list, Natalie. Thank you very much. Some people embrace it, others don't, but it's a great opportunity for us to do what we talked about just a moment ago. New members, we need them to be and feel a part of the club. Take the initiative. Tenured members, you don't have to do everything, but just do some things, okay? Ask yourself, take a moment and ask yourself why you joined. There's really 4 possibilities there, I believe. One, we already talked about the great programs. The team does a phenomenal job. Number 2, networking, chance to meet new people, a lot of interesting people in the club. 3, service. All of us have an interest in service. And 4, this is the easy one, all of the above. So Rotary is what you or we make of it. It's an excellent opportunity to go big or go small. There's a lot out there, but first you have to take the initiative and do a bit of everything listed above that we talked about. I'm going to challenge us each in new ways to try different things and truly get to know at least 2 or 3 members, because there are even tenured members who don't know each other. So that's a shame. We don't want to waste that. So I was looking through, when I was trying to prepare for today, I was looking through the Rotary magazine. And on one of the pages, I read
an article about the object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of worthy enterprise and to encourage and foster the 4 categories that you see below. And as I read this kind of tied in with what I was thinking about with regards to us as a club. You have the development of acquaintance as an opportunity for service. To me, that's really the club meetings that we have every week. You have high ethical standards in business and professions and the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupations to serve society. That, in my mind, is a behavior norms and how we should act and what we should all strive for and hopefully do. The third is the application of the ideal of service in each Rotarian's personal, business, and community life. And I interpreted that as really local action. How are we integrating and working with the city? How are we integrating and working with the university? How are we integrating and working with the community as a whole? And then lastly, the advance of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional persons united in the ideal of service. This is the go big. You can go international. We are going to be supporting AMPATH, the great international effort that's out there. We've done things in the past that are international, the Myanmar Water Project. There are a number of things out there. So again, you can go small, you can go big. The key is go and do. Be action-oriented. So Ron quoted Amy Poehler, and whoever thought I'd be quoting a comedian, but comedians are actually pretty smart. Find a group of people who challenge and inspire you. Spend a lot of time with them, and it will change your life. I was looking through, and this is probably 2 months ago, maybe 3. I was trying to find, because Ron always did quotes, and I was like, oh, I want to find quotes. And then I was like, you know, I'd like to find some women quotes, because we never really hear a lot of quotes from women. And to be honest, when they go low, we go high. I know that one. There's not a lot I know. So I started doing some research, and this one I read, and it really, I was like, that's the perfect one for the first meeting, because this is the reason I joined Rotary. It's, I saw what Rotary has done and continues to do for my father and how much it means to him. And now I have the opportunity to do the same. So this one really spoke to me. And then there's 3 real components. And again, this is more of what I've been talking about, but first, service. It's not just about the community service group, which Sarah and Jeff head. There are many service opportunities within this club. Okay, there's the AMPATH that we talked about, doing the roundabout, which is probably one of the hardest. Judy and Marilyn, thank you for all that you and your team do on that. There is service opportunities abounding within this club. So I have also, we'll see more this year, I suspect, Andrea and Heidi on the Family Fun and Fellowship Committee. So these are all different types of service activities that I'm looking forward to everyone participating in. Secondly, with the group of people to inspire us, we have the weekly meetings. Are we sitting around at different tables? Are we meeting each other? Are we getting to know each other? What a great opportunity. This one, I kind of thought of to steal the UPS slogan of what can Brown do for you? It's really what can Rotary do for you? Rotary can do so much. Make sure you give it the chance. And then last, of course, take the initiative. If you don't take the initiative, it won't do much. We have to own the opportunity. So let's take the initiative. So then I wanted to talk a little bit about committees. And this also gets back to simplification, which was my second point that I talked about earlier. We took a look as a team at the committees, and several committee members actually raised their hand and said, are these committees still applicable today? So we actually eliminated, and when I say we, it was the committee chairs that came back to me and said, I'm not sure these 2 committees make sense any longer, classification being one. So hats off to Dick McCaig for saying that. Because it's always easy to add things. It's hard to eliminate things. And the second was congratulations to Ashley Wesley for saying, we've tried to get the vocational committee up and going, and it's just not working. So I don't think we're going to do it. And it's like, you know what, that's great, because we can focus on the things that we enjoy and are good at. And so that's why you'll see we have I think it's 12 committees up here. And the interesting thing, when you look at the committees, I've got the committees listed with committee chairs. And so some interesting facts here. On the 12 committees, we have 4 chairs that are new members at less than 2 years, which is great. There are 7 new committee chairs. Some of them we have dual chairs. So there's 7 new committee chairs and 8 continuing committee chairs. This is a balance. This is a beautiful scenario of exactly what we want to see in Rotary, where you've got tenured and you've got new, and you're getting the experience and you're getting fresh perspectives. So I'm super thrilled about that, and super excited for all the new leaders to bring those perspectives forward. Having said that, here comes my pitch via the email I sent yesterday. If you've not signed up for a committee, and there's 48, we had one sign up since I sent the email, please do sign up. We need your help. The committees make Rotary work. That's what we're about. Ron always said it. The committees are what we're built upon. Okay. So another quote you guys have heard me say, and this is not a woman, just in case you're wondering, this is Gandhi. Be the change you want to see. So in the spirit of starting off walking the talk and simplifying, I want to give a sincere call out to Claire Cast, the artist formerly known as Teresa Claire, for gathering and evaluating a new software tool that will provide clarity and exactly where your dues are going from an invoicing standpoint. Some of the feedback I've gotten from several members of the club is, I don't know, I pay my dues. I don't know what I don't know what it covers. I don't know where it's going. Claire has done intensive research. We've purchased a package, and you will see new invoices coming out that give you clear and easy invoicing options. It will provide us with clean historical budgeting tools, and it will give us the agility to adapt to the invoices as we continue to evolve our club to the needs. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a moment. I also want to thank Natalie Blaze, because Natalie is the one who really bears the burden of inputting all the invoices, making the change, and change is always hard. And she's been embracing this, and we're very excited to roll out what the new invoice looks like. So here you go. We've got, and by the way, this is my bill. Claire was gracious enough to make it anonymous, but it's really my bill. And I say that because she's got me having Hugh Jackman as the guest here. And let me just say, he looks as good in person. No, I'm kidding. But if you look at the invoice, you can see clear the dues. It shows you number in the blue circle. What is it you're paying? Your quarterly club dues, your quarterly district dues, your Rotary International dues. It line items it out for you very clearly. Okay. Secondly, if you are participating, and we encourage everyone, that's what the EREY is. Let me just see if I don't know how to do the thing, but in the orange circle on 5, EREY, every Rotarian every year. We'd like to have everyone participating. It's about a $25 a quarter fee, and that ensures that you're contributing to Rotary International. That's the foundation. We also have the Bloomington Foundation on line 6 right below it. And again, we encourage people at $20 a quarter to sign up for that. If you're not participating, there will be just a $0 amount in that. So that will help us all understand. And I'll just speak from my experience. I didn't realize that was something that the club was looking for. I just gave a donation to the foundation and thought that was it. To be honest, this is cheaper than what I was giving, but that's a whole nother story. And then you've got a line item on your meals and what dates you came, so you can see. And then if you have a guest, you can see what that looks like. The other key thing here is that it's not ready yet, but it's in the process of having credit card capabilities. There is a 3% charge, just to be clear, on if you wish to pay for credit card, but that will be coming. So this is fantastic work, and in the spirit of simplification and making life easier for all of us, thank you, thank you, Claire. And thank you, Natalie, for that. These should be going out tomorrow, hopefully. Look, we can see about putting happy dollars on that as a line item. That's a great ad. It's a great ad. So this is exactly, yes, I don't know why we couldn't. That's a yes. Natalie gives it the thumbs up. So there you go. All right. So love this quote about find people who will make you better. And again, that is another one that spoke to me about the club here. Everyone in this club, I haven't met a single person that hasn't brought a new view, a new learning for me. Being a bloomerang in my retirement stage, I want to stay active. I want to keep learning. I want to keep meeting people and doing things. I'm not sunsetting out. This club offers that on so many levels in so many different ways. I thank all of you for that. I thank all of you for the opportunity to be your leader. I will tell you, feedback is a gift. I'm very gifted. You'll hear a lot of my little sayings. That's one of them, hence the gray hair. I'm very gifted with feedback. But I would encourage everyone that we've all found people here who will make us better. Let's make sure that we are leveraging the opportunity as it's on us to do so. And with that, Michael, I will open it up for questions. Any questions? Not that I can answer them, by the way, but Ron's just sitting right there. Oh, anybody online, Joy?
Kyla.
Oh, Kyla, sorry. I'm so used to Joy. You're right.
No, you're fine. I don't see any questions yet.
Okay, well, that is totally fine. Oh boy. Mr. Baker.
Is that your dessert?
Yeah. Is this teacher's wear? I think it's a teacher's warehouse plug. I could be wrong. Sarah, was this you? I have no idea. Oh, you put it up there? You're a prankster. Any other questions out there? Yes, Sandy. I get it now. You had the Apple logo. It is totally you who put this up there. I didn't see it because it was on the front.
There are
You're
a lot of different pots that we can put money into during the year, a lot of different initiatives, and all of them are great. On that invoice that we saw, does it have a place for all those different line items so that when we receive the invoice, we could be reminded that, oh, I haven't given to the International Fund. Oh, maybe I want to give to the Rotary Toast. But if we are queued with those things and there's a blank or a zero there, maybe we would be inspired to give a little more.
I like that you want to get inspired. That's good. And you're going exactly where we want to go. We're not there yet. So in the spirit of a walk, crawl, run, or crawl, walk, run, I have a tendency to get those confused shockingly. But we want to get the invoices out with what we have first. And then we also want to make sure we don't, for lack of a better term, we don't junk it up, right? Because if you have too much on there, it's going to get lost. And so we will make intelligent decisions about what goes on. And we'll talk about it in the board meetings to make sure that we've got the focus on the right things. So for example, I think there was one line item we used to have about the book, a walk a mile or something about a book. And we took that out. So this new tool is going to give us much more agility to switch as appropriate. So that's a great suggestion. Mr. Bright.
Yeah, Traci and Ron, I just want to thank both of you and congratulate both of you and really all of us for making this club truly one of the best anywhere. I know we talk a lot in here about our club. Occasionally we talk about the district, where there are 35 clubs in the district. No other club in Indiana, Southern Indiana, Central Indiana, Northern Indiana, or I think in the entire 13-state zone can come close to what you and we accomplished on the membership front. To have a net gain of 60 during your tenure as membership chair is truly phenomenal. And, with you at the helm and building on Ron's success as club president, I hope everybody shares with me the optimism for the year ahead. I mean, this is going to be, fasten your seatbelts because it's going to be exciting, folks.
So let me just thank you. First of all, it's team sport. That's another saying you'll hear from me a lot. But one of the things that struck me, and I think it was the district governor who said, our club really likes each other. I can think of no higher compliment than that. Everybody really likes each other. That, especially in society today, that matters. Now, having said that, the 60 members are a team sport. We all brought them. It's up to us to make sure we keep everyone. And that's why I really want the focus of this year is about back to the basics and making sure that we are being inclusive making sure everyone feels like they belong. Some are going to belong and do more, some are going to do a little less, but everybody needs to do something, right? And I can assure you, I know Lori Garrity, who's taking over my membership chair position. The pedal's not off the metal. But again, let's make sure we're all doing our effort, bringing people in and making them feel welcome and keeping them welcomed throughout. So Liz?
So thanks for stepping up to be president for us first. But then I wondered if you had a crystal ball, if you might reflect upon what you think the end of your presidency might look like and what you might be celebrating as your term as president.
I just got my crystal ball out for the front. So ideally we'll have had everyone on a committee. Ideally, everyone will have participated in at least one service activity. We'll have at least 20 new members. And by the way, I like to underpromise and overdeliver. I've been in sales a long time, and it's always better at the reviews if you do that. I learned that the hard way, hence the other gray hairs. But I'd love to see us have at least 20 net new members, let me be clear. And so that to me would be huge. I'd also like to see us working a little bit more closely. I think Ron and Alon have laid the foundation for the 3 clubs. I think we still have more work to do on that front. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I know the IRT that's coming is a good one. The Toast was a great start there. But I think there's some more that we can do. And there's a couple of things that Jim, one of the beautiful things of the many beautiful things with you going around having all the connections with all the other clubs is we get to get feedback and what's working for them. And there's a couple of things that have caught my eye that we'll talk about with some of the committees as to whether that makes sense, that would help us in integrating with the other clubs as well. So hopefully that answers your question, but we'll see. We'll see. What else?
Yeah, I think it's really important to figure out how to include everybody, that everybody feels included and as if it's worth coming for them. And I think most everybody does that, but I think the lunch buddy concept is excellent, and we put it, but it goes by awfully fast, and these is just on the table one day. I think we should make sure that we emphasize, because I'm slow in getting to my lunch buddies, so I'm the bad guy. But I think we need to encourage people, and we might have reminders about that.
And Natalie has her hand up. You can always take the floor, Natalie. That's really good feedback, Charlotte. And you're not slow on anything. I hope I'm as slow as you are when I'm 80.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
2 things. Your lunch buddy list for this quarter will be in this newsletter for this week, and it will be on the tables next week. So you'll have that. And just so you know, I try to make the copies available for the first month of each quarter, thinking that that'll give you enough time to have them. But I always keep them copies up at the front desk for the full quarter, so that if you don't get to it, you can always have extra copies up there to take home. Additionally, I just wanted to make sure when you get a copy of yours, they call them invoices now, your first invoice for this time coming out. For those of you that are carrying over a balance, down at the bottom, it'll say balance forward, and you're just going to have a magical number that just appears there. For those of you that have a number there, but you're wondering where that number came from, I still have all of the old data in the old QuickBooks software. And if you want to see where that number comes from, I can pull a statement from that old database and send you a statement from that system. So if you're wondering where that number comes from, and if you're curious and want to see that, I can email you that statement separately. So if you see that, just shoot me an email and I can send that to you.
That's great. Thank you. One more thing before we, and I'll take prerogative, one more thing before we move into the 4-way and the acknowledgements. The reflections, I just want to let everyone know, the reflections, we've got the sign up for this quarter. That'll continue. Please keep them 3 minutes or less. I was teasing Glenda that I was going to be timing her. That was some of the feedback that I got from the presidents. See, I do listen to the feedback. But what I'm thinking for the reflections after that is having each week a past president present and talk about a different project that this club has done over the years, because we have so many new people. I don't know all the things we've done. Somebody was talking about the the club, the playground over at Crestmont. Didn't know anything about that. The umbrellas. So it's an opportunity for us to, and by the way, a lot of tenured members don't know all the different things. So I think it's a good way for us to have a little bit of a rolling history view back, so that we can understand what we have meant to this community and what we do mean to this community. I guarantee you, each of us drive by something that Rotary has positively influenced every day without realizing it. So I think it's important we start understanding that and think about it, because that's why we do what we do. And with that, any questions, Kyla? All right. So
Nope, no questions here.
all right. So I kind of broke the rules a little bit and had Michael draw ahead of time for our quarterly donation for the $100 that we give out. And he drew New Leaf, New Life. So they will be our recipient going forward. I just didn't want to take time out because I was afraid I was going to run over. And if you hadn't guessed, I got feedback on that, not to do it. So I'm not. But I do want to acknowledge that, Natalie, all the work you do as an administrative assistant. Thank you very much. Steve Moberly, you were here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed even before I got here. So thank you for greeting. Dr. Dakir Abdullah, loved the energy you brought in announcing the online guests. Thank you very much, or the guest. And Kyla, love seeing your smiling face up there on Zoom. Thank you very much. Glenda, you pulled double duty here. Thank you for reflection and reporting. Very appreciated. And then Hank, I know you volunteered to do the mic and mic and camera, which I'm just going to call out that we were so shocked we forgot, because it's always me and Mike. So I apologize, but thank you for volunteering. I love that. So we'll get you for next week, maybe. And then of course, Tyler, always, you do such a phenomenal job. We appreciate it. And our next meeting will be July 9th in the Frangipani Room. Our speaker will be Noah Yeager. He is our district scholar, and it is going to be a phenomenal presentation. I can tell you, we already have 2 tables reserved for guests. And there's some superstars, not Hugh Jackman, but very close. And he's going to be discussing passion, perseverance, and purpose. And with that, if you would put the 4-way test up and everybody would stand. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all? And fifth, is it fun?